I didn't know you could keep your mouth closed for that long.
Kind of hard.
We're good.
Okay, here we go. Well, good evening, everybody. My name's Jacqueline, and today is Wednesday. I think it is November 9th. And I would like to welcome you to our weekly Wine and Dine. For those of you who have not been here before, we do this every week, and we call it our fun night. And we come together and we do a little cooking and we share our wines and do a little wine education. So please make sure that you get back with the person that invited you here to learn more. And for those of you who are regulars, welcome. We are going to have a blast. We have a great lineup for you this evening. But as always, before we get started, we always start with a toast. And this evening we have our very own CEO, Mr. Rory Rickard. Rory?
Well, we are here in this wonderful month of November. We're like cruising through it. We're a third of the way through. We are like rounding out and closing out a year to go to the new year, right? And so with that, there's always the celebrations and all the parties that come out there. And this is just to celebrate for all those that have access to this incredible wine. How lucky are we that we get to cherish this with our loved ones through the holiday season? For the holidays and great wine, cheers to you.
Cheers.
Solid. Thank you, Rory. We'll hear from you in a bit. So I am so excited to introduce our host for this evening, and she has some wonderful cooks that have some awesome recipes, and they have chosen some great wines to pair them with. So I would like to introduce my dear friend, Nell Galinsky. Nell?
Thank you, Jackie. Yes, I do have some great cooks lined up this evening, and they're going to cook some amazing dishes. And our theme this evening seems nothing really great happened on November 9th. So we're doing a tribute to Chardonnay. Chardonnay is the most popular white wine in the world. And I did a page on that, gosh, maybe a year or two ago. But tonight, our cooks are Evie Etter, and she's going to do an avocado egg roll. Linda Horn, and she's doing pumpkin sage pasta. And Gloria Ozon, and she's doing coffee and donut tiramisu. And we'll go to Evie first. She's doing the appetizer. So Evie, what you got going on over there?
Hi there. Well, we've got the avocado egg roll, and my lovely assistant here is lovely assistant is cutting up the avocados for me. And I don't know how many know this or not, but sometimes when you get avocados, they just kind of don't keep very well for very long. But we have found that if you put them in a container, we use an old bread box that we've gotten, and fill it full of water and put the avocados in there and put them in the fridge, they last a long time. Like this one, which he just cut up, I don't know if you can see it, that's been in there for probably at least 10 days.
Wow.
It's still very fresh, and that's the way the others are too. But to start with the egg rolls, what it suggests you do is go ahead and make the dipping sauce. That way everything can kind of meld while the avocado rolls are actually being put together and baked. Well, we're air frying. So tonight, the dipping sauce, I don't know if you can hear that far back. The dipping sauce takes, can you move that stuff up here? Thank you. Takes a fourth a cup of sour cream. And I use equal parts of sour cream and mayonnaise. That way you don't get an overwhelming flavor of the sour cream. Fourth a cup of, hopefully, maybe a fourth cup mayonnaise. Some minced garlic. Oh, I used my spoon. The minced garlic, just a little bit. Cilantro, fresh cilantro. Well, doesn't have to be fresh. And I'm going to put horseradish in it because we love horseradish, and I think we're about to the bottom of the jar here, but that'll work. Yep, I bet it does. And we just mix it up. You can give me the blue thing. And I'll put some little bit of salt in this, and I'll put some lime juice in it in a little bit. But okay, oh, thank you. And then the avocados itself, we're going to do like 4 avocados. We're going to mash them up. Yeah, thank you. And then after that, we will add some Roma tomatoes, some cilantro, and what else we got over there? Oh, actually, this is you can put just about anything you want in this, depending on your taste. And so while we get that prepared, you put that in egg roll wraps, not the spring roll wraps, but the egg roll wraps. And I'll just put one together. It's not totally done here, but that's okay. Well, oh, you can't see. We'll put it down. We wet the edges of it. Oh, here's my spoon again. And we put, about a tablespoon of the mix inside the egg roll wrap. And you just wrap it up however you see fit. This goes like that first. And then we'll air fry them. So that'll be our appetizers in probably about 10 minutes.
How long do you air fry those for?
About 8 to 10 minutes. Usually put them in and for 4 minutes, and I flip them over and cook them for another 4.
Do you put anything on? Do you spray them with anything before you put them in the air fryer?
No, actually, I spray the air fryer grill. If I don't have a liner, I spray it with some Pam or
Okay.
cooking spray.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to you in a little bit, and we'll go
Yeah.
to Linda and see what she's got going on in her kitchen. Linda? Linda, you're muted.
While Linda is coming on, now just for everyone, just know that I just posted the avocado egg roll in the chat for you to be able to access that. And Linda, it looks like you're ready.
I'm unmuted. I just had to get my little mouse up there.
Okay.
Oh, okay. This is something I've never tried before, but because it's fall and it's pumpkin season, it's spices, it's everything like that. I found this pumpkin sage pasta. You use the penne pasta. I bought the petite, but we used to call these, my grandma used to call these sewer pipes. When she made her spaghetti, a lot of times she would use these noodles instead of call them sewer pipes. Anyway, and then you can gut a pumpkin yourself and get the puree out of it. No, I got some organic pumpkin puree, and then it called for heavy cream, which I didn't get. So I used evaporated milk instead. I'm always substituting something. I never go by a recipe. And then I got some sage, and I got some salt, pepper, and I put the pumpkin puree and the milk in a skillet and got it to where it was starting to bubble a little bit, heat up, and then put the spices in with it. And it's there, it's just sitting there. And then the rigatoni I had already cooked ahead because it does take a little bit longer. It's a thicker noodle. And then all I do is put it together. And what I instead, because I didn't have or couldn't find any sage leaves anywhere. Usually it says to, you can, what do they call that? Wilt the sage leaves in butter. But since I couldn't find them, I roasted some pumpkin seeds to put on top.
Ooh. That sounds good.
I thought when you come back to me, I'll have it concocted.
Okay.
And what are you pairing that with, sweetheart?
Chardonnay more than you.
Chardonnay. I love that. Thank you.
That
And
was
Okay.
guys, I have just put the pasta recipe in the chat for you. Sounds delicious.
Yes, it does. Linda, did you have something else to say?
no. I want you go ahead and mute me if you want. I'm having problems with my button.
Okay. All right, and now Gloria is our, she has our dessert for the evening. So Gloria, you're up.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So tonight I am making coffee and donut tiramisu. It's the easiest way to make it because I've tried to make traditional tiramisu before and it did not work well. So tonight we are going to make this. It's super simple. You just need vanilla pudding, milk. I actually am using almond milk because everybody in my household is lactose intolerant. You'll powder mini powdered donuts, and then you'll need cocoa powder and coffee. And you want to make sure that the coffee that you brew is like brew it in the morning and then let it sit all day so it's really dark. You want it to be a really strong coffee. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to put your milk in with the pudding. Actually, a little bit more of that, 3/4 of a cup. Okay. And you're just going to whisk that really quick together. And once you whisk that, you're going to use this entire container of Cool Whip. It is 16 ounces. And you're just going to fold it into the pudding and milk. And, get it all mixed really well. And then once you do that, you're just going to set that aside. Then you're going to take your donuts. And it says do one at a time, but I actually was doing about 8 of them at a time. And you're going to soak the donuts in the coffee for about 10 to 20 seconds on each side. Goes over.
I just had a thought. Could you use red wine instead of coffee?
I'm not sure.
Maybe a port.
Maybe a port, because it's a very,
The coffee isn't sweet, so you don't need sweet in there. You could add, I would almost mix some red wine with the coffee or something.
Yeah, I didn't even think to do that. I'm actually pairing it with Freedom Chardonnay tonight, because unfortunately the Moscato doesn't last too long, and that's what it was saying was best was Moscato or Chardonnay or something like that would go best with this. So once you've soaked the donuts, you're going to line them up and place them in, the container, and you're just going to line them all the way through. Then you're going to add your pudding mixture a layer on top, and then you'll do another layer of the donuts and coffee, and then top the other half of your pudding mixture on top of that. Then you'll sprinkle a little bit of cocoa powder on top and set it in your refrigerator for at least 8 hours, but it's best if you do it overnight, like for 24 hours. So when we come back, I have one already ready and set in the fridge, and we'll pull that out and see how it turned out.
Okay. All right. Peter, I saw someone asked in the chat about the sniff, sip, swirl.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. I mean, people ask that a lot. And before that, I'm going to throw in another thing. Somebody asked me recently that I always thought it was obvious, but I think people don't necessarily know. When you want to chill a bottle of wine, you should be chilling even red wines a little. don't put them standing up in your refrigerator. Put them on their side. They chill about 10 times as fast because the heat goes up and cold goes down. And if you have a vertically, it takes a lot longer for the heat to move through that. So anyway, so when you want to smell, first thing you want to do, you put it in your glass, you have your glass of wine and just take a little look at it. Look at what the color is. It doesn't necessarily tell you anything right now, but as you start tasting wines and you start to recognize the differences, this is a very dark, inky, dark red. I'm drinking a Merlot here. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to swirl it around. You want to do like this. You just want to, you don't want to move the glass a lot. You're just kind of doing a little thing. What you're trying to do is you want to get some air into the wine. If you had decanted it, even better, but even so, you want to, because what I'm doing now is I'm filling the bowl of the glass here with all the aromas from the wine. So now I go put my nose in here and I get a lot more than I did 30 seconds ago before I started swirling it around. So you really want to, and you don't want to be shy about it. Really get it in there. And pay attention to what you're smelling here. What are the, because a lot of your flavors come through your nose. So you really do this. You really take a deep breath. It's gonna be different after you swallow because some of it is what's called retronasal. It comes backwards through your nose rather than the front, and it's gonna hit your nose differently. So pay attention to that. And then you just take a small sip and even try to get a little air as you're sipping it. Because it's all about getting that oxygen to open up the flavors. And now I was talking there, so I did the thing you shouldn't do, which is swallow it right away. You want to let it sit on your tongue for a little while, just really get the flavors into your mouth, into your nasal passages, and then start thinking about where in your mouth that you're tasting. Are you tasting up front, along the sides and back? And what do you smell there? What do you taste there? So you just kind of try to pay attention. When everybody talks about all the crazy tasting notes that I write, you're talking about something a little different than when then it's not like there are actual berries in here, but this is a vocabulary. You know what a berry smells like. You know what grass smells like. Those things. So it gives you some way to explain it, to recognize it, not just to tell other people, but to tell your own brain. Your brain doesn't know, may not know something, but what they do know, you got to look for the familiar. That helps you learn how to taste. And then, and just keep, get some air in, like, as you try to get it into your mouth, because that really all just opens up the flavor. The other thing you want to do is don't think about it just on your first sip. The wine is going to continue to evolve as you open it up. So think about it as your second glass. When you get through the end of the bottle, it's going to be very different than it was at the beginning. So try to just pay attention to that. That's kind of what I go through when I try to taste wine. And I start making my notes. I go back. Okay, what am I tasting? What am I getting here? Yeah, definitely getting some sort of pine needle, and a little and definitely like black cherry, something like that. And then look, what do you get? Oh yeah, there's the cherry really comes through right of the way. But then as it goes away, you get sort of this, you almost get a hint of like coffee or chocolate, maybe a little tobacco. Those are the different things. And then you can start thinking about how that's going to go with food. So that's the kind of way you taste. That's how I go about tasting wine.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, let's see how our chefs are doing.
Okay. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Chardonnays, just to tell everybody that we do have 4 really great Chardonnays, and our cooks are using, they're going to showcase 3 of them tonight. Let's see. Ebby's using the inaugural 2021 Chardonnay. Linda, she's pairing the More Than Muse Chardonnay, and Gloria is showcasing the Freedom Chardonnay. And we have one other Chardonnay the Moonlight Sonata. That is my very favorite Chardonnay. So we do have 4 wonderful Chardonnay wines. And now we can go back to Evie. Are you ready to taste?
No, it is still cooking. It has about 2 minutes more to cook.
Okay.
But yeah, I will be pairing it with the inaugural 2021 Chardonnay, and this is a very good one too. And I forgot about the Sonata. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Well, that one
yeah,
didn't last. That one didn't last very long.
Yeah,
it came out. It came out in just, I think, just one shipment, didn't it, Peter? And then it was gone.
Yeah, we only had the one time of that one. It was just a little bit different, so we wanted to give it a different label. But yeah. So, but we're gonna have, and Rory and I were just talking about when we're gonna release our next new Chardonnay. So you're gonna have something else fun to taste soon.
Okay. Linda, are you ready to plate yours?
She's muted.
There she goes.
Okay, I push the button. Yes, I am. So here it is. I think honestly, if you had the green leaves in it, that would give it more color. But we just don't have them. So
I love anything pasta.
I do have the sage in it, but I just didn't have the leaves. So yeah. Just put it in here, and I was eating the sunflower seeds a little bit ago. Oh, just a little bit because it's late for me. Over here. Okay.
No, but these have to cool before we can taste them.
That really pulls out the spices. I don't taste the pumpkin as much as I do the sage. So I might have used a little bit much. But I do have some Parmesan cheese on it. I'll even taste that. That time I got some pumpkin. I get a little bit of the pumpkin. A little bit still the sage. But I'm wondering if maybe even a little cinnamon in that.
Yeah, a little cinnamon. You might also just need a little more salt.
That's true. With as thick as this Santa pasta is, it's a thick noodle. But
yeah,
it is a pairing.
The pairing works nicely for you.
Yeah, it. I like the Moonlight Sonata. This one's okay. Some of them are it tastes a little bit stronger to me. But once you put them with the food, it just seems to smooth it out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that,
yeah,
I have to say that's what the more than use does. It just kind of smooths it out.
Yeah, and that's a pretty hearty dish, so it's it'll play nicely with wines like that. That's a great combination.
But that's nice. That's something that's quick and easy, and it sounds like a winner for cooking.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you, Linda. Gloria, are you ready to plate yours?
Yes. Okay, so I was finishing up the other one. And this is the final. Can you guys see that?
Oh, yes.
See in there?
Yeah, I see.
All righty. So my daughter's going to try it with me. Let's see. Sarah, you want to come on over? And
I really want to.
actually, that looks interesting. All right. So donuts. I know. All right. I'll show the people. There's our little melted topping. It looks almost like ice cream. Oh. Here we go. Okay. All right. Let's taste that. Mm,
That's actually not bad. I
but-
think that sounds so messed up. No, it's good.
It goes really well with the Chardonnay, actually. It's a lot sweeter than I thought. I think that maybe a little bit more coffee, but I can't say it tastes like regular tiramisu, but it's really good actually. It's almost like ice cream. The Chardonnay really brings out the vanilla pudding taste part of it more, and it kind of dulls the coffee taste.
Because that Chardonnay has a little bit of oak on it. So, and when you hear oak in wine, really that translates to vanilla. So so that explains why that particular pairing combination is coming out like that.
Yes. It tastes great though. She likes it. What do you think with the wine?
Oh, it's good.
It's really, really good.
I like it. I wouldn't have thought to.
But it kind of tastes like coffee and vanilla ice cream. And you can specifically taste the donut when you drink the wine. Like it separates the two. Like I can taste powdered donut and then I can taste coffee and vanilla on the other side. But
Thanks,
yeah,
good
it's
job.
good. It
Nice work.
was good. It was really good. I got a lot of it. Too bad you guys can't get some.
Well, one thing that that in researching the different Chardonnays, I know that I also did an article on the different growing regions for all wines, and Chardonnays, depending on where they're grown and the climate, the land and rainfall, everything has a lot to do with the different tastes of the wine. So even though we have 4 different wines, 4 different Chardonnays, they all taste different, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah. And one of the things that's interesting, you talk about the growing region, that has a lot to do with it. And yeah, we say Napa and Sonoma, but there's a lot of different microclimates around that area. So you could get the cool, foggy climate, or you could get the hot, sunny valley floor, or up in the hills where it gets a little drier. It can get all the different types of climates. And I try to get you Chardonnays that show you all those different expressions of it. And and then the question is, how is it fermented? Where does it go? Does it spend time in oak? That's, as I said, the oak is where you get some of that vanilla flavor. If you remember from the Moonlight Sonata, Niall pointed out that it got almost a little bit of a whiskey barrel note to it, which because that was a very different. That was more of what they call malolactic fermentation that caused that to happen. So there's a lot of different ways these winemakers, it shows you that they really are artists, and you take the same grape and grown on a different special plot of land made in the hands of a winemaker who wants to do something different. You can get all these different range of things that we call Chardonnay, which you would never know if you went to a supermarket and bought a Chardonnay, where every one of them is going to taste exactly the same.
Right. Okay. Jackie?
You want me
We gotta
to,
go back to Abby. I think she's ready, baby.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah,
I almost forgot about you.
But when they come out of the air fryer, or if you deep fry them, they will be very hot. And I did cut one open so it could kind of cool off a bit. I don't know if you can see that very well, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, they're very good. And I'll dip it in my dipping sauce because I already took a drink of the wine. What I like about the inaugural, it tastes sweeter than some of the other Chardonnays, and it's very good. But the others are good too. It's very good. It, avocados to me don't have a whole lot of flavor unless you add a lot of stuff to them. And to me, it added a lot of flavor to what is I normally call an unflavorful avocado. But and then with all of some of the other spices, I put in some garlic and tomatoes and onion and a couple other things. Just kind of pulls everything together, and it seems like it's. I don't know if this. It seems creamier too. So.
Yeah, no, that's actually a great description. I use that in the tasting notes sometimes. So creamy, that's a great one. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, you're gonna find in some foods that you don't get a lot of flavor out of it. The wine will bring out flavors you didn't even know were there, because there are some flavors that are not water soluble. So if you just have it without any alcohol, you'll never taste those flavors. And the avocado definitely has some of those notes that get brought out by that wine.
Oh, good. It wasn't just me.
No, it's not just you. Yeah, and it's interesting how. And now you said it tastes a little sweet to you after having the food. Does it taste any different?
The wine.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, not really. The wine has its own very flavorful taste, and to me, it wasn't any sweeter.
Okay. Sometimes it'll be less sweet. Sometimes, often the food will interact with the wine just as much as the wine interacts with the food. So sometimes the wine will taste different after having some food with it too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You saw that. I mean, Linda talked about how it got smoothed out a little and so you get to see when you get on desserts, especially the wines any sweetness goes away completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah, but it's very good.
That looks terrific. I love the idea.
And it'll go with anything. It'll go with reds or whites or the rosés, anything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, well, that was a terrific set of dishes. I'm impressed with all the cooks and all their wine pairing ideas. I didn't even have to do much for you. You all are getting so good at this, and I really appreciate why I have a lot of fun watching you go through this every week. So,
well, before we say, is Rory with us or has he had to step away? I always like to get his input after he's heard about all there he is. Hello, Mr. Utah.
I'm just. We got to figure out this smell-o-vision, taste-o-vision thing, because you just like it's like savoring, and you can't have it yet. You got to make the recipes. I know that's the idea, but what I've noticed, Peter, is our awesome family here is just getting better and better at this, and they're venturing off to new things. And if you remember when we first started doing this. Like Gloria, when you were like, well, Moscato goes by really fast, and that would have been good, but I did this. You already knew something else to put in there and just made a lovely direction, and you weren't stressed out. That's what we want to see. So I'm just going to tell you, today I see growth, and I like where this is going. That's all I have to add, Jackie.
Wonderful. Well, thank you as always. We always like your input. And so I am going to close this out this evening. Again, for those of you, if you are new, please get with the person that invited you here so that you can learn how to become a member of this wonderful wine club. And we will be here next week, same time, same channel. So